In Australia, the story starts, where a couple named Heather and Greg we see. Both of them are tourists and they met while staying at the same hostel. They have come to Australia with a group, but instead of sticking with everyone, they decide to go for a shark cage diving experience on their own. Together, they find a firm called Tucker's Experience, which promises an exciting shark adventure for them. They notice that the place looks completely empty and deserted when they arrive. Dave is the only old man there who is present. Tucker is on holiday, so no trip happens today. Dave tells them that fact. Tucker himself shows up suddenly just at that point. He introduces himself as the boat captain and says that he runs Tucker's Experience himself today. Tucker agrees to take Heather and Greg out to sea despite the fact he was supposedly on a holiday. Tucker takes them onto his boat and heads toward the ocean. During the ride, he tells them his backstory. He explains that he survived a shark attack as a child, and those scars from that attack are still on his body. He even shows them a newspaper article that talks about the shark attack from his childhood. Since that day, he says, he has developed a strange obsession with sharks. Heather tells him that his job must be very tough and scary, especially after surviving a shark attack. She says that if she were in his place, she would never go near the water again. Tucker calmly replies that it was not the shark's fault. Tucker pours blood into the water after that, and soon many sharks start gathering around the boat. It is now time to dive. Tucker locks Greg and Heather inside a metal cage and slowly lowers it into the water. Sharks swim all around them. Heather gets scared and tightly holds Greg's hand, but after a moment, she slowly calms herself and starts enjoying the thrilling experience. Realizing that they are not immediately aggressive excites both of them, and seeing the sharks so closely. After the dive, they return to the boat, laughing and thanking Tucker, but suddenly everything changes. Without any warning, Tucker stabs Greg in the neck and throws him back into the ocean. In the middle of the sea out there, no one can hear her cries, but Heather screams in terror. The scene then shifts, and we are introduced to an American girl named Zephyr. After surfing, she arrives at a shop near the Gold Coast. There she meets a real estate agent named Moses, who is looking for a cable because his car will not start. He asks Zephyr for help. She refuses to help him because she prefers to stay away from people, even though Zephyr lives in a large camper van. Later, when Zephyr reaches the parking lot, she takes out ice cream that she had hidden in her cup and quietly starts eating it. At that moment, she runs into Moses again. Moses once again asks for her help, but Zephyr ignores him completely. If she does not help him, he will tell everyone in the shop that she stole something. Moses then indirectly threatens her. This makes Zephyr angry. Moses quickly changes his tone, seeing the situation getting tense. He explains that he walked several blocks in the heat and only needs a lift back to his car. After thinking for a moment, Zephyr agrees to help him. During the ride, they start talking, and they realize that both of them are interested in surfing. They begin to like each other. That night, Zephyr's van is parked outside Moses's house, and inside the van, the two of them get intimate. During this time, Moses unknowingly throws a fin key out of the van, which is used to attach fins to a surfboard. Moses starts taking the relationship seriously. He believes that they met for a reason and should stay together, but Zephyr is not someone who likes staying in one place. She does not even go inside his house. Moses, however, has started developing real feelings for her and even prepares food for her. But by the time he brings the pancakes, Zephyr has already left. This leaves Moses feeling heartbroken. Zephyr goes to a beach to surf. After parking her van, she tries to attach the fin to her surfboard, but she realizes that the fin key is missing. Nearby, she notices a truck and starts searching inside it for a fin key. Suddenly, she hears footsteps. When she turns around, she sees Tucker standing there and smiling at her. Without asking any questions, Tucker gives her a fin key and says that he has many of them. He also praises her courage for surfing alone. Zephyr thanks him and starts fixing her surfboard. At the same time, Moses sends Zephyr a picture of food and messages her, asking if she would like to go surfing with him. Tucker suddenly attacks her from behind, knocks her unconscious, and takes her away before Zephyr can reply. After a long drive, Tucker reaches his boat. He puts Zephyr on the boat and sails out into the ocean. By morning, Moses arrives at the beach, but Zephyr is nowhere to be found. He tries calling her, but her phone is ringing inside her van. Tucker cleverly throws Zephyr's surfboard out of the van but leaves the phone behind, making it look like she went surfing and drowned. When Zephyr wakes up, she finds herself tied to a bed in the lower room of the boat. On the bed next to her is Heather, still alive, the same woman from the beginning of the story. Zephyr panics and starts screaming, but out in the ocean, no one can hear her. Heather tells her that she has tried everything, but out here, their voices reach no one. She also explains that she has been trapped here for a long time. Zephyr tries to find something to unlock the handcuffs, but there is nothing nearby. She notices a girl's name written on the wall. Seeing this, Zephyr realizes that another girl was imprisoned here before and must have written her name when she lost all hope of surviving. On the deck above, Tucker is calmly fishing. Zephyr asks Heather if anyone will come looking for her. Heather says that she was here with a man on the same boat, but what happened to him is something Zephyr would not want to know. Zephyr understands without needing more explanation. When Heather asks Zephyr the same question, Zephyr sadly says that no one will miss her, but she does not know that Moses is still thinking about her. When Moses sees Zephyr's van being towed away from the beach, he becomes suspicious. The van is Zephyr's home, and she never goes anywhere without it. Now deeply worried, Moses goes to the police station, but the police officer does not take him seriously and says she is probably just traveling somewhere. Moses decides to search for Zephyr on his own. Back on the boat, Zephyr keeps struggling all day but cannot free herself. At night, she notices a thin wire inside Heather's bikini. She pulls it out and starts trying to unlock her handcuffs. Just then, Tucker arrives with bread and water. The room is extremely hot and both women are very thirsty. Heather quickly drinks the water, but the way she tries to cover herself makes Tucker suspicious. As he is about to pull the sheet away, Zephyr distracts him by asking for her food. She drinks the water too. After Tucker leaves, Zephyr tries again to unlock the cuffs, but she starts feeling dizzy. Tucker had mixed a sedative in the water. Before she can escape, Tucker captures her again. When Zephyr wakes up, she finds herself tied to a chair on the deck. Heather is tied nearby in a harness. A camera is set up in front of them, recording everything. Tucker calls this his show. He gives a disturbing speech, praising sharks and saying that God is not above but below in the water where everything began and where everything will end. He cuts a lock of Heather's hair and keeps it. Then he pours blood into the water, attracting many sharks. He lowers Heather into the sea. Surrounded by blood and struggling helplessly, Heather is attacked and killed by the sharks, all while Tucker records it. Zephyr watches everything in complete horror. Shaking with fear, she writes her name and Heather's name on the wall. That is when she notices that there are many other names hidden under layers of paint. She realizes that Tucker is not just a psychopath, but a serial killer who has murdered many tourist girls. He keeps videotapes of their deaths along with their hair as trophies. Now a new tape has been added for Heather, and the next one will be Zephyr's. The next morning, Moses is still searching the beach for Zephyr. He finds her surfboard and his fear grows even more. All her belongings are there, but she is not. Something is clearly wrong. At night, Tucker comes down again with bread and water for Zephyr. Furious, Zephyr kicks everything away and angrily tells him that he thinks he is a shark, but in reality he is just a parasite. Tucker says nothing and leaves. Later, Zephyr notices a bucket nearby. She breaks its handle and turns it into a sharp weapon, knowing that Tucker will come back. Because Zephyr did not drink the water earlier, Tucker returns with an injection to sedate her. As he comes closer, Zephyr attacks him and stabs the sharp handle straight into Tucker's body. Tucker screams in pain and falls backward. Zephyr quickly grabs the keys from his belt and frees herself. But somehow, Tucker manages to inject her leg with a sedative. Slowly, Zephyr begins to lose consciousness. She rushes up to the deck and tries calling for help on the radio, but there is no response. Then she spots another boat in the distance. She screams at the top of her lungs, but there is a party going on that boat. No one hears her. Just then, Tucker appears on the deck. Zephyr grabs his camera. Tucker demands it back, but in anger, Zephyr throws the camera into the ocean. During this struggle, she herself falls into the water. She starts swimming, hopping to reach the other boat, but halfway through she passes out. Tucker pulls her out of the water, brings her back onto his boat, and locks her below deck again. Now without his camera, Tucker cannot record anything. Because of this, delays killing Zephyr, deciding that he must buy a new camera first. He turns the boat back toward the shore, locking Zephyr inside before leaving. Meanwhile, the police also begin searching for Zephyr, but Moses still isn't satisfied. He checks the CCTV footage from the beach parking lot. In the footage, after Zephyr's van, he sees Tucker's truck, clearly marked with the Tucker's Experience logo. Suspicious, Moses searches the location and reaches Tucker's boat. As soon as he steps aboard, he hears Zephyr screaming from below. He breaks in and rushes downstairs. Zephyr is both happy and shocked to see him. She can't believe he found her after everything. She tells him to bring something from upstairs to free her and call the police. Moses goes up to make the call, but Tucker suddenly arrives and attacks him. The call connects to the police, but Tucker smashes the phone and brutally injures Moses. Even then, Moses doesn't give up. He almost manages to kill Tucker, but suddenly Dave attacks Moses from behind, unaware of what Tucker has really been doing. When Dave hears Zephyr's voice, he finally realizes the truth, but it's too late. Before Dave can do anything else, Tucker beats him to death. Now Tucker realizes that staying near the shore is no longer safe. He takes the boat to a deserted island and ties Moses on the bed next to Zephyr. Moses is trying to confess his feelings when Tucker arrives and takes both of them up to the deck. He has decided to record the next tape today. This time, he chooses a new method. Tucker throws pieces of Dave's body into the water, attracting sharks. Then he pushes Moses into the sea. But Zephyr had already warned Moses. Do not move at all in the presence of sharks. Moses stays completely still and it works. The sharks sniff him but do not attack. After a while, Tucker pulls Moses back onto the boat, but now he becomes even more ruthless. He stabs Moses multiple times and throws him back into the water again. Moses is now on the verge of death. Just then, he sees a lifeguard helicopter flying overhead, searching for Zephyr. Frightened, Tucker drags both of them back below deck and locks them inside again. Moses' condition is critical. He is barely breathing. Zephyr watches helplessly. She knows she cannot wait any longer. She tries pulling her hand out of the handcuffs but fails. With no other choice, she breaks her own thumb to slip her hand out, but it still doesn't work. She bites off her thumb completely as a last hope. Finally, her hand slips free and she releases herself. At that moment, Tucker comes downstairs with another injection. Zephyr dodges him, pushes him into the room, and locks the door from outside. She runs up and starts the boat system, but Tucker reaches the deck through an alternate route and shuts everything down. Now Zephyr has only one option: fight and escape. She fights Tucker fiercely and at the first chance jumps into the ocean. She sees an island ahead where a wedding reception is taking place, but her hand is bleeding, sharks are in the water, and Tucker follows her in a small boat. Zephyr somehow reaches the island, but before she can get help, Tucker catches her again, knocks her unconscious, and drags her back to his boat. Now Tucker realizes the real threat is not Moses but Zephyr. He switches roles. This time, Moses is tied to the chair and Zephyr is suspended in a harness as Tucker prepares to record his new show. Suddenly, a great white shark appears. Even Tucker is stunned. Every other shark swims away. He stares at it in awe and remembers that this was the same shark that attacked him as a child, yet he still loves it. To him, this shark is his god. Without hesitation, he drops Zephyr into the water, but Zephyr is fully conscious. Tucker grabs a harpoon to provoke the shark, but it slips from his hand and lands near Zephyr. Using the harpoon, Zephyr frees herself and falls into the sea. She comes face to face with the shark. It approaches her but does not harm her. Perhaps it sees something familiar in her. She too is a survivor. Filled with courage, Zephyr climbs back onto the boat and fights Tucker again. Tucker overpowers her and almost kills her. But suddenly, a badly injured Moses appears from behind and hits Tucker's head with an iron rod. Tucker loses balance and falls straight into the ocean. Blood starts pouring from his wounds. Drawn by the scent, the same sharks he once worshipped rush toward him. Tucker screams in terror, but no one hears him. Within seconds, the sharks tear him apart and kill him. The man who recorded others' deaths now becomes part of his own final, unseen show. On the other side, Zephyr fires a flare gun into the sky. The signal bursts into bright light. Soon, a police boat appears in the distance, likely tracking Moses' incomplete call. The police rescue Zephyr and Moses. Moses is in critical condition, but Zephyr refuses to let go of him. Sitting on the police boat, Zephyr looks back at the island where her nightmare finally ended. Moses slowly regains consciousness. He looks at her, holds her hand, and says, "I told you, we met for a reason." Zephyr gives a faint smile. A smile filled with fear, pain, but above all, the will to survive. Holding each other's hands, they leave the terrifying ocean behind and move toward the horizon. And with this, the story comes to an end. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe.